Okay, just got this one home. Had to go pick it up. It's purchased off a gun broker. This is my D as in David 1711 1909. Having a problem. I inserted the bolt. Can't get the safety up here. Not sure why. It's not going. Yeah, that should be smooth. I don't understand that. Having a look at the bolt face. Everything else looks good. What's that about? I've got a bit of a wiggle to get it in there. Throw it down. The fire's okay. Of course, the safety's not going to work. You cock it once, go back, and it still isn't working. It's caught on something there. I think this piece is not out far enough. I need that to happen so I can do a bolt teardown. Okay, so the way I overcame this is I cut off a little piece of plastic with some wires from one of these toothpicks. And I stuffed that plastic down in here just to give it a spacer so that it would catch on the bolt, on where the trigger release is, right here, and it would actually push this piece back a little bit further so I can move the safety. So it actually made it kind of free floating. Let's see with the camera. You see where I put that plastic in there? If that'll focus. It's just right in front of the trigger stop. So it's just a spacer. And I wanted to add as little amount of space as possible, but I didn't want to lose something down inside that trigger hole. So I did keep it kind of stout. So the bolt sides in, and then it took a lot of extra effort to cock it, and then that safety's just free floating. So apparently there's just a little too much wiggle room there. Something's gotten worn down over the years. Not really sure what, but we'll figure that out along the way. And there we go. Okay, I finally figured it out. I got out the micrometer and I was measuring things and just could not figure it out, right? It's about 2250 on that piece there. It's measuring like this. It's right at 21. For that distance, I thought the problem was this. Well, I ended up switching the actual safety switch, and the problem followed the safety switch. So let's see if we can get a focus on this. You'll notice there's that nice proof mark on here. So I really like these proof marks. These look appear to be a handshake. These are found throughout the gun. Many other proof marks on this gun that was produced at the DWM factory. Keep in mind, this was Peter Paul von Mauser's swan song, his pinnacle, his crowning achievement of his design to a point. He only worked at a handful of factories. This was one of them, so he had direct oversight on the production values. So there's a lot of preciseness. There's a lot of good quality built into this Mauser as opposed to the hundreds of other variants that are out there. People just kind of copied his design, but they didn't do everything exactly right. But on this, I did find the problem. The problem followed the safety switch. I moved to a different bolt, tried it out, and the problem followed it. So this is the bad one, but I ended up working it over. I finally got it into a barrel that could, where I could move it. And I worked it about 100 times, and I got a little bit of an edge on it. And I'll show you this edge right here where my thumbnail is touching. Let's look at this is one of the good ones. And I'm going to show you an even better one. So I compared a lot of my bolts, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? There appears to be a discrepancy in, let me get this to focus. See this edge right near my thumbnail? It's somewhat beveled as you turn it, and it goes underneath there. Now, let's keep this focused on that. Let me show you. This is the bad one, which has a new bevel. I worked that about 100 times in a barrel where I was able to move it and get a bevel on it. I didn't want to actually file it down. So let's look at a really good one. I don't know if you can see that bevel there in the light. That's a really nice bevel. This one moves really good. I like this one. So there appears to be some differences. I don't know if that's from the factory or if that is from having worked it over the years. I'm sure if it didn't work, you know, directly out of the factory, they would have caught that. So that's an odd thing, because what I mentioned earlier, the quality level of this factory was amazing, even through the different years. They did slight changes. Check out my other video where I talk about the other bolt teardown number 2. It'll show you how these can break, and I don't recommend forcing it. So hopefully this helped you out a little bit. I was able to put it through a couple different guns before I finally got one where I could move it, or you know, you could shim it just slightly if you could find a thinner shim to get it to move enough that you can actually work it. I was going to file it. I actually got out my file and I was planning on filing that little bevel, but I did not. I was able to work it just enough, and I got a spare, and I had a couple spares sitting around, so I'm going to keep it handy. Of course, you know, they are out there. You can buy them. So there's make sure you get a good proof mark with a handshake on there. Keep it all genuine. And that's it. Thank you.